Welcome to the show. Fulham are targeting automatic promotion. They faced a difficult trip to the Den and a London derby against Millwall. The home side in with a real chance of making the playoffs, a match with so much at stake. Cardiff City were bidding to go back into second place in the league table. They were home to an inconsistent Nottingham Forest side. Neil Warnock's team couldn't afford any setbacks. Aston Villa had made a timely return to winning form. Their last two matches they triumphed by a single goal. Could they make it a hat-trick of successes away at Ipswich Town? The best moments from the game are on the way. Let's start with the London derby at Millwall. The visitors were Fulham. The commentator is Lee Jarvis.
Millwall unbeaten in 17 league games, last losing at home back at the beginning of November, take on Fulham, unbeaten in 21 league games. The two longest unbeaten runs currently in the second tier will either the Lions or the Cottagers lose their unbeaten records tonight. Points crucial for both, for Fulham to leapfrog Cardiff into the automatic promotion places, and for Millwall to move up to 5th ahead of the rest of the weekend's action. Kenny does well to skip past a couple of challenges. It's been a lovely day in southeast London. The sun's been shining. And there is a cracking atmosphere for this one. Millwall need the points. They know they need a win here. And they've started this game so well. Frantic pace to their play. Plenty of movement in the penalty area. Keeper's made a run towards the back post. And his header hits the crossbar. Into the arms of Bettinelli as well from the second attempt. Cooper completely unmarked. Did well to get the header on target, and I think Bettinelli touches that onto the crossbar. Free header. Cooper will really feel that he should have scored. Fulham just haven't been able to get their game going. Struggling to get on the ball. Marshall cuts inside and puts a cross into the middle. Bettinelli comes down and gets something on it, and it's off the line by Ream. Wallace thought he'd scored, but Ream denies an almost certain goal for Millwall. Bettinelli came flying off his line but didn't get enough on the ball. How about that from defending by Ream though? Fredericks gets the ball back. This is better by the away side. Kenny plays it out wide. It's off the crossbar. Pratley struck it well. Just didn't dip enough. It beat the goalkeeper. Archer saw it fly over his hand. The target couldn't find the back of the net. Millwall failed to make their dominance count in that first half. Will they live to regret that? Plenty of possession at the start of this second half for Fulham. Johansson. We're closing down absolutely everything in that first half. Mitrovic, shot spilt by Archer, and Sessegnon's there! It's the opening goal of the game, Ryan Sessegnon. It's the travelling fans who can celebrate. And who else but Ryan Sessegnon, the 17-year-old, to put them ahead in this game. He's 15th for the season. First goal in 9 games. Mitrovic was allowed to turn and shoot. The ball just bounced up in front of Archer, who really should have done better from that initial effort. But Sessegnon was quickest to react and put the ball through the goalkeeper's legs. Kenny. Millwall need to react. Haven't seen much of the ball in this second half. Fulham have improved. Millwall struggling to close down and make an influence on this game. Saville slips. McDonald goes for goal. 2-0. What a strike that was by McDonald. 10 minutes into this second half. Fulham have come flying out of the traps. They're 2-0 up. Awful sign for Saville to slip, but McDonald thought about hitting it. Why not when you can strike a ball like that? Maybe the goalkeeper should have done better. The ball going through his hand. But Fulham are 2 up. Is there a route back into this game for Millwall now? It's been the perfect second half for the Cottagers. They've been in cruise control. Millwall have hardly had a chance. McDonald, scorer of that second goal. Callas just wandering past a number of Millwall shirts and plays the ball on a plate to Mitrovic. He finds the top corner. That settles it. A really important 3 points for Fulham. A disastrous second half for Millwall. Fulham are moving up into second place after this one. How about that from Callas? And Mitrovic was never going to miss from there. Nobody could get a challenge on the defender. And Mitrovic has his 11th Fulham goal this season, with just a minute remaining in this one. And there is the full-time whistle. How important could that win be for Fulham in the race for automatic promotion? Millwall will be disappointed. Will that dent their hopes of going up via the playoffs? They'll have to hope that the teams below them failed to pick up points this weekend. Goals from Ryan Sessegnon, Kevin McDonald and Alexander Mitrovic, giving them a 3-0 away win at the Den. Final score, Millwall 0, Fulham 3.
To Cardiff City next, they were hosting Nottingham Forest. Here's David Windsor.
Fulham's win last night nudged Cardiff out of the automatic promotion places, but Neil Warnock's men still have their potential Premier League fate very much within their own hands. Recent history bodes well for the hosts. Cardiff have won 7 of their last 8 league matches against Forest. Forest have only picked up 1 point from their last 5 league visits to Cardiff. But Cardiff have won just 1 of their last 4 championship games, but they will go back into the top 2 with victory tonight. Forest have failed to score in 18 different league games this season. Scoring been a real problem, Nottingham Forest, this campaign. So much on the line for Cardiff, though, tonight. And the atmosphere inside the Cardiff City Stadium very much reflecting that fact. Only opportunity here, though, for Nottingham Forest, and blazed over the crossbar from Lolly. It's good movement from Lolly to create the space for himself. I feel as though he should have tested the goalkeeper from that kind of range. Here's Zahor. Twisting and turning. Space to shoot from Zahor. Trying to pick up the pieces as well. Smuggled behind for a corner kick. Rules will take it. Morrison, the captain, amongst others, inside the penalty area. Flights it in. It's Sean Morrison. Captain's goal. Cardiff City have the advantage. 10 minutes before half-time, and it's a crucial header in their bid to get back into the top 2 in the Championship. Nottingham Forest will be bitterly disappointed because Morrison is utterly unmarked to nod home his 5th of the season. Bridcut. Nottingham Forest find themselves a goal behind. It's a very poor ball as well. Gives a good chance here for Zahor. It's clean throw on goal. It's Kenneth Zahor. Clips it over the goalkeeper. Off the post and away to safety. What a fabulous chance that was for Cardiff City. And Zahor knows it as well. Well, the idea was a nice one. Way to the pass is perfect. And Zahor just clips it over the keeper. And the spin takes it onto the post. Fox clears the ball that bounces back into play. Nottingham Forest living very dangerously indeed. Fine margins. Despite having the advantage, Cardiff have struggled really to find their rhythm. Across the face of goal. Good chance. It's Bridcut. Equalising goal for Nottingham Forest. And it's a knife through the heart of Cardiff City's promotion chances. Liam Bridcut scores his first goal in 7 years. And Cardiff really only have themselves to blame. It's well taken from Bridcut. Nice movement into the penalty area. And it's one apiece at the Cardiff City Stadium. A draw tonight for Cardiff City would leave them below Fulham in the table. Would still have a game in hand. Derby in midweek. Zahor tussling for it, and Zahor is bundled over. It's going to be a free kick right on the perimeter of the penalty area. Yellow card for Mancien. Just a little nudge on the back. Was clearly outside the box. Cardiff would certainly viewed this fixture as absolutely imperative to pick up all 3 points. Got a free kick in a good position. Hoylett and Rawls over it. 3 players in the Nottingham Forest wall. Will be Junior Hoylett. Bamba keeps it in play. It's Goodison! And Cardiff are back in front. Aaron Goodison just loves scoring against Nottingham Forest. His 4th in 4 games against today's opponents. And that may well be the most crucial of the lot. So much credit has to go to Sol Bamba to keep the ball alive. And Goodison, it's a difficult technique, it really is. All the emotions on Goodison's face tell the story of just how much this means to Cardiff City. And there goes the full-time whistle. Cardiff do go back into 2nd place in the Championship table. Automatic promotion to the top tier, and Premier League football is still very much in their hands. Cardiff City 2, Nottingham Forest 1.
Now it's the Portman Road for Ipswich against Aston Villa and Adam Fielder.
Ipswich Town host Aston Villa at Portman Road this afternoon, with the visitors still harbouring hopes of forcing their way into the automatic promotion spots. Villa, who currently find themselves in 4th position, comfortably inside the playoff positions, but they are behind both Cardiff and Fulham and will need results to go their way to catch them. Graben tries to create some space. Oh, it takes a wicked deflection. And the rebound is put in from Conor Hourihane. Well, you've got to feel for Ipswich Town. It took a huge deflection that carried it onto the post. The goalkeeper could do absolutely nothing about it. And Conor Hourihane was the first man to react. There's the deflection of Kolskous, I think it was. And Hourihane puts Villa in front. Perfect start for Steve Bruce's side. Well, Ipswich are winless in 6 home matches against Villa in all competitions. They've drawn 2 and lost 4. In fact, the 2 previous games have both ended goalless. No problem with that today, and that's an awful challenge from Grant Ward, and I've got a feeling he could be in a spot of bother here. The Villa players have surrounded the referee. The red card is shown, and just to compound Ipswich Town's misery, they're not only a goal down, they're also a man down. Well, Grant Ward's protests, but I mean, that is a horror show. Neil Taylor is fortunate that his leg isn't broken. I don't think there was any malice intended. He immediately apologised, but I don't think he can complain about the red card. So Aston Villa have the luxury of having an extra man. How Steve Bruce would love a second goal. Here is Onuma. Onuma into Graben. Graben turns away. Oh, it's fantastic from Lewis Graben. Lovely pass into him from Josh Onuma. But Lewis Graben still had a huge amount of work to do. He had 2 Ipswich Town defenders all over the back of him. And he just rolled them both. And the finish as well, right into the side netting. Goalkeeper with no chance. Well, Steve Bruce enjoys it here. He has won each of his last 3 visits to Portman Road. At the moment, it looks as though that is going to 4. It may well look even worse for Ipswich now as Graben makes it 3. And Ipswich Town, the architects of their own downfall, trying to play out from the back. It was Josh Onomah who's had a really good game for Aston Villa today. He was aware, he nipped in and unselfishly played it to Graben with an inch-perfect finish, post and in. And Aston Villa lead by 3-0. Grealish back to Onomah. Well, they're playing with a certain freedom now, our Aston Villa. It's a lovely switch of play. Here is Bjarnason. Bjarnason's ball, Lansbury's there. Simple as you like. Lansbury gets in on the act. Aston Villa have 4, but that is far too easy from an Ipswich Town point of view. No one tracked the run. So easy to get his cross in. Completely free header. And again, the goalkeeper unmoved. He could do little about it. Well, it has been some performance from Aston Villa today. They're not going to give up on this either. That's well dealt with, actually. Had Albert Adoma, the substitute, all over the back of him. Knew that he had to try and shield it out. The full-time whistle is blown. Aston Villa knew that they had a job to do today. They needed all 3 points to keep the pressure on the sides above them, and they did just that. It was a mightily impressive performance. It finished Ipswich Town 0, Aston Villa 4.
Wolves were crowned champions after a convincing victory at Bolton. Barry Douglas sparked celebrations among the travelling ranks with the first of the afternoon. Benica Phoebe left Bolton facing up to another defeat. A third followed as Diogo Jota got in on the act. The fourth came from the penalty spot. Phoebe won it, and Connor Cody did the rest. Comfortable in the end. Middlesbrough won away against playoff rivals Derby County. Mo Besic with his first Borough goal. Britt Assombalonga with his 14th of the season gave them a comfortable cushion. The points look to be heading to Teesside. Derby scored a late penalty. David Nugent took the spot kick and cut the deficit, but not enough to prevent the Rams from slipping to another defeat. A memorable encounter at Ashton Gate as Bristol City and Hull City shared 10 goals. Harry Wilson gave the visitors the advantage in the West Country. A long-range strike from Marlon Pack brought the home side back into the match. Famara Diédhiou gave them the lead for the first time in the game, and the striker went on to add his second. Bristol City were in control, but Hull City were far from finished. Fikayo Tomori was among the goals. Wilson was then on target again, his second. Abel Hernandez next to find the net. And when Fraser Campbell scored, Hull City must have thought they'd done enough for maximum points. Deep in stoppage time, Joe Bryan salvaged a point for Bristol City. A West London derby at Griffin Park, and Brentford came out on top. Sergi Canos with the Bees opener. Queen's Park Rangers found a way back into the game. Idrissa Silla sorted that with the equaliser. Brentford were back in front. Florian Josefzoon, the match winner, to keep their playoff hopes very much alive, just a point adrift of the top 6. A setback for Sheffield United, who are also in contention for playoff place, as Birmingham City boosted their hopes of championship survival. They fell behind as Mark Duffy's scuffed effort found a way through. It was a lead the Blades couldn't hold on to. Mark Roberts levelled it up at 1-1 to give the Blues renewed hope. Jacques McHomer settled the contest in Birmingham's favour with a fine run and finish, and all 3 points for Gary Monk's side. Barnsley remain in deep trouble after defeat at Allen Road. They were up against former manager Paul Heckingbottom, now in charge of Leeds United. The first senior goal from Tom Pearce edged Leeds in front, only for an own goal from Paddy O'Connor to bring it back to 1-1. As Jan Alioski gave the host the victory with a winning goal. Preston were held at home by Norwich City and had to settle for a point in their pursuit of the top six. Paul Gallagher's free kick struck the bar. Josh Harrop was another to enjoy a decent scoring opportunity, but it finished goalless. A miserable day for Reading, beaten away at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday's Fernando Forestieri with the breakthrough moment. George Boyd weighed in with the Owls' second. Forestieri then struck again to complete his double. To make matters worse for the Royals, Tyler Blackett was sent off. Sunderland's stay in the Championship is at an end. They lost at home to Burton Albion and were relegated. Paddy McNair put the Black Cats in control. Darren Benn facing his former club with the Brewers' equaliser. A late-headed goal from Liam Boyce confirms Sunderland's place in League One next season. Wolves, promoted as champions, top the table from Cardiff with Fulham third, Aston Villa fourth, Middlesbrough fifth and Millwall sixth. Sunderland prop up the division and are relegated, with Burton and Barnsley completing the bottom three. In League One, Wigan could celebrate promotion. They won emphatically at Fleetwood. Max Power set them on their way. Gavin Massey added a second for the Latics. Dan Byrne put the game beyond Fleetwood with the third of the match. It was left for Che Dunkley to complete the scoring, and Wigan could celebrate the fact that they'll be playing Championship football next season. Shrewsbury, though, were held at home by a relegated Bury. All appeared to be going to plan for the Shrews when Aboessa put them in front. Jay O'Shea had the final word with an unlikely equaliser in a game that ended 1-1. Rotherham United were too strong for Bristol Rovers and made sure of their place in the end-of-season playoffs. Michael Smith with a first for the Millers. And then Kellen Lavery guaranteed the points were going to Rotherham with a second and a highly significant win. Elsewhere, Charlton won 1-0 at playoff rivals Portsmouth, and Scunthorpe won by the same scoreline against relegation-threatened Walsall. Wigan, champions, lead the League One table from Blackburn Rovers, with Shrewsbury third, Rotherham fourth, Charlton fifth and Scunthorpe sixth. At the bottom, relegated Bury, with MK Dons, Northampton and Rochdale also in the bottom four. In League Two, Accrington Stanley, already promoted, were not about to take it easy at Wycombe Wanderers. Stanley led through Caden Jackson. Scott Brown with an excellent second goal for the visitors. Sean McConville left the Chairboys trailing 3-0. And a late penalty from Afande Zanzala gave the leaders an easy 4-0 success. A point for Luton Town at Brunton Park was enough to confirm promotion. They fell behind as Carlisle United's Danny Granger scored from the penalty spot for the Cambrians. Ollie Lee was Luton's saviour, and the Hatters could celebrate. Jayden Stockley scored twice for Exeter, but it wasn't enough to beat Crawley at St James Park. Josh Yorworth, with his first goal of the season, gave the visitors a point in a game that finished 2-2. Elsewhere, Notts County were 4-1 winners over Yeovil. At the other end of the table, Barnet beat Newport 2-0, but Chesterfield lost 4-1 at Forest Green Rovers. Accrington and Luton are first and second in the table, both promoted. with Wycombe third, Exeter fourth, Notts County in fifth, Lincoln sixth and Coventry seventh. The bottom two are Chesterfield and Barnet. That's it for this week.